He did not realize that these were parties. This is how Boris Johnson explains his presence at celebrations in the middle of the strict corona lockdowns. New pictures, however, shake his defense. Because there are new explosive photos that are putting pressure on British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on the eve of the release of the unabridged investigative report into illegal lockdown parties at Downing Street. The pictures published by the British broadcaster ITV on Monday afternoon show that Johnson was there with a filled glass in his hand, and several others present stretched their hands with glasses to toast in the air. On the table, which can be seen in the middle of the photos, there are several open bottles of wine and champagne. The pictures are said to have been taken at the farewell party for Johnson's former communications chief Lee Kane, and that was in November 2020, according to ITV. They questioned Johnson's defense of not realizing the gatherings were parties, and you know my picture for that, for a long time already. The final investigative report into the Partygate affair about banned parties in Downing Street during the corona lockdown is to be published this week. Opposition leader Keir Starmer accused the government of already undermining the report by top official Sue Gray. Johnson himself declined to comment on Monday on questions about the forthcoming report and its implications, saying he would say more after publication. In the past few days, it has become known that there has been at least one meeting between Officer Gray and Johnson to discuss the report. Both sides initially blamed each other for calling the meeting. Most recently, Downing Street admitted to having arranged such an appointment. A government secretary defended the conversation, saying it had to be clarified which names and photos could be published in the report. The police investigation into the lockdown parties has now been completed. Well, I would say officially ended, but not really completed. Around 120 fines were imposed, but British Prime Minister Boris Johnson only had to pay for one party, despite attending several events, and despite those photos, obviously. The investigation report could further weaken his position in his party and in office. An abridged version of the report published a few months ago accused those responsible of leadership failure and serious misconduct. After word of suspected government parties, Johnson said there was no party. There were no violations of the law. Meanwhile, Johnson has been fined £50 for attending another party, a surprise celebration for his birthday in June 2020. As I said, an investigative report by Officer Sue Gray on these celebrations, which allegedly violated the ban on gatherings due to the coronavirus, is expected to be published in the coming days. Should Gray criticize Johnson in it, calls for his resignation could increase again. Government officials fear the report contains photographs and other clear evidence of celebrations at Government House in Downing Street. Johnson's punishment appears to be unique in British history. As far as we know, no Prime Minister has ever been found to have broken the law, the House of Commons Library said in April, when police served Johnson with a fine, effectively declaring that the Prime Minister had attended the banned gatherings. Violations were found at 8 meetings in 2020 and 2021, according to Scotland Yard. A total of 73 women and 53 men received penal orders for this, including some multiple times. And that whole thing shows us what I said in my last video already, that it's not very understandable why Johnson just received one fine, because the gathering with a photo from ITV, which I couldn't show you because it's copyrighted by ITV, is another party, not his birthday. As I said, it's for Lee Kane. And so I really don't understand why he wasn't fined for this by the police. And yesterday I said that many Tories have now made another U-turn by saying, no, he doesn't have to resignate. It was only one thing, and blah, 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 blah. This man has to resign if he were a decent politician, which he isn't, and we all know that. But I'll keep you posted, and I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.